I woke up 3 hours later in hospital with my arm in a bandage. Needless to say, my parents were furious with me. When I was younger, some kids used to poke and hit me to see if I would flinch. I used to be covered in marks and bruises, and my parents were horrified. They complained to my teacher, who gave the entire school a lecture about the dangers of my condition and how their actions could have put me in hospital. Now that I'm older, I find that most kids try and steer well away from me in fear of accidentally harming me, especially since the arm popping incident. It makes me feel sad, but there's nothing I can do about it. My friend Kayla says I'm like a real-life superhero. I don't think I have a very good power at all. I'd much rather be able to have super speed or turn invisible. I do worry about my future. I hope I don't end up ill and not realize it like my great-grandpa. My condition makes my life difficult at times, but I'm not going to let it get in my way. I may not be a superhero, but I am me, and I will try my best to protect myself from injuries and have a normal life. Thanks for listening to my story. Like this post if you believe that we have to make the most of our lives regardless of the obstacles we have to face.
Everyone, my name is Agatha, and I can say without reservation that I am the strongest girl in the world. Don't you believe me? So maybe let's compete, huh? Okay, I'm kidding. Mom says that I became so strong because in childhood I did not eat anything but meat. And if there was no chicken, duck, or steak on the table, I would cry and stay hungry until I was given a portion of animal protein. It is somehow weird for a child, isn't it? At the same time, Dad believes that I inherited strength from him. I don't know why he thinks so, because he can't even move the truck from its place. Well, let alone the truck, he would never even lift an ordinary passenger car. Oh, Dad. But I do not mind looking like him, for example. Anyway, I believe that my grandma came closest to the truth. She said that I was born not the most ordinary child. The thing is that right after my birth, I was able to roll over and hold my head, started crawling at the age of 2 months, began sitting when I was 4 months, and at 6 months, I learned how to walk. When I was 1 year old, physically, I was like an active child aged 5 or 6 years. I was running very fast, doing pull-ups on horizontal bars, walked on my arms, and did push-ups up to 20 times. It is worth mentioning that not every adult can do such things. However, as I grew older, my physical features stopped improving, and I became an ordinary girl who was no better and no worse than any other girl. I was moderately active and moderately athletic and had no extraordinary achievements. In short, later everyone kind of forgot that I used to be a special child. At school, I did not understand why it was so difficult for other children to carry backpacks and why we couldn't bring a 20-liter water bottle to use by ourselves, for example. Why did a specially trained man have to do it? Once in the 2nd or 3rd grade, I was sadly watching how a feeble guard was bringing these bottles to our school one by one. At that time, he was twisted so much that it seemed to me that the back of this poor man would soon break and his knees would bend in the wrong direction. Now, I really thought that it was some joke. Well, as for me, at home, I can lift such bottles with 2 fingers and even juggle them. Then a brilliant idea came to my mind. I decided to help the guard. I came up to the car with 2 bottles and quickly threw one of them over one shoulder. The other one went over the other shoulder, and then I ran into the school. My classmates, teachers, and that very guard were standing and staring at me with their mouths and eyes wide open. And what about me? Everything was as normal. These were just 2 20-liter bottles. Psh, that's nothing. And it was after this incident that everyone began to call me an aunt. Although I try not to be in the public eye too much anymore and not to draw a lot of attention to myself. Years later, my ability manifested itself again. This time, it was totally unexpected for me. I was walking with my friends, and near the supermarket, we saw a car moving backwards towards a baby while the child's mother was packing up the shopping bags in the trunk of her car. No more than 5 seconds were left before the tragedy could happen, and totally unexpectedly for everyone, first of all for myself, I rushed to that baby. Was it madness? Well, yes, because everyone was sure that we would both be hit by the car. But at that moment, I did not think at all, and everything happened kind of automatically. But we were not destined to die under the wheels because as soon as I ran to him, I grabbed the moving car and lifted it with my bare hands. Can you imagine that? Well, no, not without seeing it with your own eyes. It's impossible to imagine or even believe it. At that moment, the mother of the child ran up to us screaming and took him away. They left kind of too quickly, but I remained standing with the car in my hands. My friends and passers-by were frozen as well, and this awkward silence lasted about a minute. And then the driver of the lifted car opened the door and said, "Hey, would you put me on the ground?" Oops, that was a bit awkward. Then everyone started asking what was going on and how I managed to do that. Oh, I wish I had known this. I was actually shocked no less than they were. By the way, the baby's parents found me in a couple of weeks. They were really grateful to me for saving their son and brought a whole bunch of valuable gifts for me. I was very proud of myself because my ability was invaluably useful. This time I did not ignore my abilities and decided to test them. I went to the weightlifting club and hoped to understand the limit of my capabilities there. But after a couple of training sessions, the coach refused to work with me. The thing is that the weights he gave me were just funny to me. So I asked for more, and at the end of the second training, he said, "Sorry, Agatha, I have nothing more to give you. You lifted all the loads that were in the gym, and I ask you to find another coach because I don't want to take any risks." In short, he was scared of the responsibility for me and my health. In his practice, I was the first person who easily pulled huge weights and asked for more. He was talking about another coach, so there is a chance that someone will agree to work with me, right? After all, I am a very promising learner. So I found an experienced mentor who appreciated my abilities. Mr. Charlie, coach, decided not to miss his golden opportunity and started working with me very tightly right away. He taught me to carry out correct grapples, properly position my body, tuck myself up during tugging, and rationally use my energy. In short, a month later, I was totally ready for performances and competitions. My strength started bringing income to me. Mr. Charlie advertised me very well, and the cost of my performances began to grow after every victory. Step by step, my coach pushed me to more serious levels, and as a result, after a series of victories in 1 year, I was ready for a decisive battle. Mr. Charlie said that I achieved really impossible heights and proved to everyone, but first of all to myself, that I was truly unique and capable of doing many things. So in the decisive battle, I had to compete with the record holder of the Guinness Book of Records, the all-around champion in weightlifting, and the strongest man in the world, nicknamed Arnold. I had exactly a month to prepare for the competition. If you know anything about top-class sports, then you understand that this is an incredibly little amount of time. But I began to prepare because there was no way back, and both Arnold and I were challenged. The long-awaited and most exciting day in my life had come. A crowd of spectators and journalists gathered on the track, and there appeared he, a legend, invincible and unique Arnold. When he saw me, he decided that this was some kind of joke, that a real rival would appear later, so he laughed out loud and said, "Great prank, and now go do your homework, girl. I'm waiting for the one who is the daredevil who decided to challenge me." And then the organizers explained to him that there was no trick and that the daredevil was actually that girl named Agatha. Arnold began to laugh even harder and said that he wasn't going to participate in children's games. He began to leave, but I could not allow this because in that case, all my work and efforts would have been in vain. So I didn't come up with anything better than stopping him, not in the easiest way. I ran to his car, picked it up, and said that until he fights with me, he would not get his car and would not get to go anywhere. Arnold was shocked. Of course, he had never seen anything like that in his life. When he almost came to his senses after the shock, he said that he perceived me as a worthy rival, so he stayed. And the fight began. We had to lift various weights and pull trucks. To warm up, each of us picked up a mini car, then we switched to crossovers, and the final stage involved trucks. To be honest, I did not expect Arnold to be so strong. He was in no way inferior to me in anything. Our struggle was very intense and fierce. Arnold did not want to lose his title and have to give it to a girl that was 3 times younger than he was. It was not really appropriate. In turn, I wanted to prove to everyone that I was really unique. When we were both exhausted, but no one got ahead, we were offered to pull laden trucks. None of us could refuse and retreat because it was already a matter of honor. We grabbed the ropes and started pulling the heavy loads. One step, then another. It was very difficult, and every step was a real feat. At some point, I decided to pull myself together and make a leap forward because I may not have another chance to do this. I gathered all my strength, and there was heard a crunch, a scream, and I felt a sharp pain. There were circles before my eyes. It was hell. At some point, I even wanted to die so as not to endure this. I heard a crunch, a scream, and I felt a sharp pain. There were circles before my eyes. It was hell. At some point, I even wanted to die so as not to endure this nightmare. I had a feeling that someone stuck a lot of knives in my back and started turning them around. Then an ambulance arrived, and I was taken to the emergency room where the doctor told me and my parents that I had a serious back injury. I would definitely have to forget about sports, but it wasn't known for sure whether I would be able to